Hey, what's up guys? This is King Vox, and today we're going to be talking about the Tamer. Now, the Tamer is this class. Why'd you kick me off, Helling? Why'd you kick me off, Helling? You be good! Okay, so the Tamer is a class that I actually love. Like, I don't know if many people know this. Maybe some of my early subscribers or whatever would know. If you guys notice, I used to have my founder's costume on her, and I used to play her a lot, like a lot. Like, so this is the first character I actually made on my account, I believe, and she was actually my founder character as well. Like, she's the character I put my founder's costume on and all of that. And I recently ended up having it move to a warrior, and I didn't move off of Tamer because Tamer's a bad class. I don't think Tamer's a bad class. I believe she has a lot of stigma that was placed on her by people that just can't. Like, the problem with people in BDO is, like, if they can't do something, or if they feel that, you know, it's impossible, whatever, for them, they'll project that onto you, and they'll project that with, like, all their energy. So it's kind of like not in a way of like transferring energy, but on a way of just like, they gotta let you know that this is the worst class and that you shouldn't play it. And every time, you know, you join a party or something like that with them, they give you crap about it just because they got it to, you know, level 50 or whatever, and they know that the class is garbage or whatever. You know, people just go off of like crazy experience. Like, on the forums, you'd be surprised how many people make suggestions and they give their opinions or whatever when they only got the class to 40. Now, I'm not saying that that's where all the Tamer stigmas come from, you know, but let me get straight to it, okay? Some people will literally tell you that this class is so weak that if 2 wizards were coming for you in a node war, you would die. How stupid does that sound? If 2 wizards are coming for any class equally geared, you're going to die. It doesn't matter if you're a Tamer. You know, everyone has this whole stigma of classes or whatever doing multiple things. Like, everyone has this whole thing of like, oh, well, you know, this class can 2v1. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be dead honest with you guys. The only classes in this game that can 2v1, now let me be real with you guys, is geared characters. Period. Period. If you're the same gear as someone else, if it say if there's 3 people, they're all equally geared, equally skilled, right? It doesn't matter what class you're on. 2v1, whoever has the partner or whatever are going to get the better of you. Now, there's sometimes in America or whatever where someone slips up or whatever and you're able to catch people off guard and stuff like that or whatever, but a class doesn't necessarily determine how good you are at 2v1ing and stuff like that. Now, mind you guys, the first character that I actually like fully made and went super hard on was a wizard, and even as a wizard and geared at the time, I couldn't 2v1. So if I ran into 2 people that was as geared as me, it was a problem. I would have to kite and run, which you can do on just about every class, and you can do a little bit better on ninjas because you can pull, because you're so fast, you can pull out really far. When I say ninjas or whatever, I mean like the Tamer class. I mean like the light classes or whatever that everyone seems to think that are like jokes or whatever, right? So this whole stigma about like what class is good or bad or whatever is kind of determined on the idea of siege war and a massive war and like how useful they are. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there's only a certain portion of the population that's even doing siege wars, and a lot of other people aren't. And the people that are in these actual siege guilds, like I have friends that are actually in these siege guilds or whatever, they play, a majority of them are ninjas and weird stuff like that. Like, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of witches and wizards and stuff like that or whatever, but what I'm saying is these guilds don't determine whether they're going to take you or not depending on your class. It's really depending on the skill that you have as an individual, the gear that you have, and the level of your character. Now, there's even people that are in siege guilds or whatever that are like level 58 and they just have ridiculously good gear. The siege guild doesn't really care. They really want, it's really about that gear score. When you have that gear score, you can finesse your way into anything. And it doesn't matter what class you are. I don't think I've ever met anyone or whatever that's been expelled from, like, you know, a big league guild or whatever just because of the class that they were playing, or denied from them or whatever when they had the proper gear score and skill to join. That's just a thing that I just never heard of. You know what I mean? So like, people will, like I said, people give you flack and crap for playing classes like Tamer and stuff like that, but Tamer's a very strong class. Like, she's a beast, and just like every other class a beast. Like, it really all comes down to gear, and this class has such a crazy stigma on that makes it like the joy of playing Tamer is all her animations, her skills. She's just a well put together class. Like, she's very fun. Every skill that you use on her just seems unreal, and the things that she can do, like right now I'm just like riding a Helling, and it's just really dope. It's a, you know what I mean? It's just really dope. And players ruin it. Players completely ruin this class for a lot of people. And I know majority of the people that play Tamers, whatever, usually re-roll because of lack of knowledge of the class. And what I mean by that is, like, they didn't give the class enough time or whatever to get geared to see what the class can actually do. Now, the people that argue about, oh, some classes take less gear and stuff or whatever, yes, that's true. Some classes do take, and that one class is like Witch and Wizard, and even them, everything's super similar. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I played just about every class in the game. There's a few classes in the game that I haven't personally had my hands on, but I have friends or whatever that play those classes, and those guys do a really great job or whatever of passing information. And from the no wars and stuff that I was in that I had got wrecked or ran into these classes and encountered, you know, things or whatever that these classes are capable of doing. And the whole idea of a class being weak, I really don't see it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't experienced it yet. So if you guys think that, you know, Tamer's weak and that's why you don't want to play it, but you absolutely love the class because it feels so unique, and I would say that it's probably the most unique class whatever that BDO has. I mean, I guess the Dark Knight would be something a little bit different too, because we haven't had anything like the Dark Knight in any other class, and I really don't know how to describe the Dark Knight. It's kind of like when the Dark Knight was first shown, man, I didn't know what to think of her. I was like, this is kind of like amusement parky. It's kind of cool. But the Tamer, man, the Tamer. That's all I have to say, man. The Tamer. You guys shouldn't give up your dreams of wanting to be a Tamer because of other people. You guys should just play her, and trust me, like, I've experienced her awakening or whatever with about 170 something AP, and 170 isn't a lot, whatever, but that's usually where I get characters I don't main. I get them to about like 170 AP or so, and then I mess around with a lot of things. Now, mind you, I know I'm saying all this, and I said she was my first character, and I'm not playing her currently or whatever. And the only reason I'm not doing that is because I have ADHD. I mean, I'm now to the point where I'm just playing anything. Like, I mean, trust me, if I was worried about stigma, I wouldn't be playing a ranger right now. And I may not be maining the ranger or whatever, but I'm just trying to get the ranger to about 57 or whatever, and get her some gear or whatever, and see how she feels. You know what I mean? And another good thing, you know, for me is, because I'll know her limitations and stuff like that or whatever, I'll know how to better fight them. Because Ranger is a very scary class, especially Awakening Rangers. So, I don't know about Pre-Awakening. Pre-Awakening, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Leveling my Ranger, I did not get off my horse. Like, I literally stayed on my horse the whole time. But, long story short, this is about Tamer, man. And I'm going to tell you guys, the whole stigma behind Tamer, and people are like, you know, the only thing good people have to say about Tamer is that it's a good 1v1 class. Now let me tell you guys, this stigma, that it's not a wrong stigma, it's good. It's good because, you know, it gets positive. There's nothing like, I can't be like, oh man, you calling me good at 1v1, but what I'm trying to say is she's not just good at 1v1, you know what I mean? And before, let me tell you guys, that stigma wasn't even a thing a while back. Let me tell you, this it was a Korean guy, I believe, that main Tamer, and I believe he has the highest level Tamer in the world or something like that, whatever. He's like level 61 and a half or something. He might even be 62 now. But before this guy, nobody gave Tamers the time of day. Before this guy proves everyone wrong that the Tamer was actually a good class, you know, it's kind of like in a fight, you know, I boxed for 11 years. And most of the boxing, whatever, is mental. You try to mentally defeat your opponent before you actually fight them. So if you put this in Tamer's head when they're playing it, oh, you're a weak class and stuff like that, people start to believe it. So then what happens is you don't go in 100%. You don't put 100% into your fights. You don't go in there and give it your all. You go in there and half-ass it, and you get half-ass wrecked. And that's the truth of the story. You know what I mean? When it comes to grinding and stuff like that, whatever, the class just is what it is. Now we're at a point in BDO where I don't suggest that you pick a class based on how fast they can grind, but you pick a class based on how you enjoy the grind. So what I mean by that is pick a class that you really enjoy to grind on. You know what I mean? And then you can go about and grind. Because if you pick a class or whatever, like, so Wizard. I main Wizard because it was easy. It was easy in the fact that I just had to press a couple of buttons or whatever, you know, and hold down a mouse button or whatever and delete a whole area. Like, that's all. So my love for the Wizard or whatever is just its power. It's raw power. You know what I mean? You know, that doesn't mean other classes can't do more damage and stuff like that than the Wizard. Because as far as DPS is concerned, yeah, there's all the ninjas and stuff like that can throw out more damage per second than a Wizard can. But man, long story short, you guys get it, you know. Tamer, Avatar, awesomeness, play it, enjoy it. You could do lightning, fire, water, earth, or wind because, you know, they're just Avatar. You see what I'm saying? Avatar.